it's me again, Natasha, and I am so happy to have you here to watch this video. Today I want to talk to you about the benefits of a fertility cleanse or the benefits of a fertility womb cleanse, because this is one thing that has helped my clients to improve their fertility, improve AMH levels, improve egg quality. And so I want to be able to share with you some of the benefits that I have noticed and that my clients have experienced over the time I have been helping women to improve their fertility. I haven't always directly instructed my clients to do the cleanse that I'm going to be talking to you about in this video, because I'm actually extended my cleanse. So normally I have like a 21-day cleanse included in one of my programs, but I'm extending that cleanse to go for 6 weeks, so that way you can maximize the results. And the other thing that okay, yeah, so this is a series, so I'm doing a fertility cleanse series. So this is like video number 3. I started doing it the other day and it didn't work out, so I am going back over this again. So if you missed this the last time, make sure to tune in today. All right, so a fertility cleanse has several benefits that a lot of women don't really know. So not only do a lot of women not know like how to do a fertility cleanse or what a fertility cleanse is, which I believe I talked about in my last video. In every video I'm just going to sort of touch on like what a fertility cleanse is and how to do one, just here and there. But this video I'm focusing on the benefits. So not only some women don't know the benefits or why you should even do a fertility cleanse. So this is why I'm going to be talking about this today, because I feel like a fertility cleanse is actually one of the fastest ways to jumpstart your fertility. It does take a little more work than something like a yoni steam or some other natural modalities, but a fertility cleanse really gets to sort of some of the root causes of why you may have poor fertility, low egg quality, period problems and things like that. And it actually helps to really address those issues, at least in the 3D, right? Not necessarily in the 5D or anything like that, but in the 3D, in the third dimension, we are able to address some of the root problems as to why you may be having a fertility problem or challenge. And so when I talk about like 5D, 3D, don't worry too much about that. I do have a fertility frequency program where I go in on like the energetic concepts and like how things like our chakras and our mindset and things like that affect your fertility. For now, you don't have to worry too much about that, but if you do want to learn more about that, you can also DM me. But to talk about the benefits of a fertility cleanse in the 3D, there are many, right? So there's many reasons why you're going to want to do a fertility cleanse. One of the things that a fertility cleanse helps to do is it helps to detoxify the liver. It helps to eliminate toxins out of your system that can be like sort of floating around in your blood, in your lymph fluid, and also be causing blockages and things like that. So fertility cleanse is eliminate toxins out of your body, which is key. Some of these toxins, they can come from things like pollution. It can be coming from things with like what you're eating, the water that we are drinking, other issues that we may be having like poor digestion. And elimination can be a reason why you have toxins building up in your body. And for women, one of the reasons why I believe that we have fertility challenges and poor fertility when we get to around 35 years old, 35 and plus, is because we have been consuming a lot of toxic substances, products, foods and things like that, and haven't been eliminating them. So the toxins are coming in and they're not going out, right? And so we can only store and hold on to these toxins in our body for so long before they become a problem. And if you notice, not only will you likely have fertility issues when you get around 35. So if you'll notice, You might not only have fertility issues when you reach around 35 years old. You might notice that some other issues are happening, like maybe vision problems, hearing, skin issues, you know, getting maybe wrinkles, pimples, fine lines. You might be having brittle hair, dry nails. Other things can be going on specifically with the reproductive system, such as dry cervical mucus or no cervical mucus. Um, Other issues could be arising. So I think that the whole, you know, 35 and trying to conceive and it being difficult over 35, it's not just an issue necessarily. It's a whole body issue. We've been storing these toxins in our body for decades, right? For decades, right? And so unlike how we would likely be doing if we were, you know, living on and things like that in nature, or just in our own, if we weren't disturbed, okay, and brought over to the West, or some people don't live right here, like, you know, if we were able to sort of create our own, our reality, or live off the grid, whatever the case may be, and we were eating healthy, we would not be exposed to so much toxins and so much pollution and things like that. And so more than likely we would be more fertile longer and experience less things like arthritis and hypertension, diabetes, and things like that, right? Which is interesting because PCOS is very closely linked to diabetes, and you usually see that people will get diabetes like around sort of the same time, even though now people are getting diabetes earlier, like we have children getting diabetes. So you can just imagine the children coming through, they're going to be having a lot of issues with reproduction. Forget waiting to 35. You're going to start to be seeing TTC over 25, TTC at 20. You're going to start to be seeing women in their 20s and you know, having fertility, which women in their 20s, their egg qualities, that's when it like starts to become at its peak, right? But so even before that, younger women who are trying to conceive could be in their teens and things like 18, 17, 19. I had my daughter at 19. Actually, did I have her at 19? Did I have, yeah, like women even younger than 20 that are trying to things that women in their 30s are struggling with. The toxic buildup, right? So a fertility cleanse is going to help to eliminate that by clearing out, helping the liver, giving the liver a break, right? So when you're doing a fertility cleanse, you're going to be like eliminating certain things out of your diet. So you're not going to be eating a lot of processed food. You're not going to be eating a lot of junk food, snacks, no meat. The water, ideally, you would want it to be like spring water. Eating more fruits and vegetables, and also possibly doing somewhat fasting, right? Not like a serious fast, but these are things that's going to help to get rid of the toxins, as well as consuming certain supplements. Not all supplements, but certain supplements. So another thing I wanted to say about a fertility cleanse is that it is not a like master cleanse. It's not like a total body cleanse. You are able to eat on a fertility cleanse, or at least my fertility cleanse, my fertility womb cleanse, you're able to eat, because I don't want to strip your body completely of nutrients, and it's really not a good idea to strip your body of completely. It's not a good idea to completely strip your body of nutrients, which is why you don't necessarily want to do the master cleanse. And in the chat, if you can hear me properly, just so that way I know, because I am using a Wi-Fi box and it might be too far away, and I could probably get one of my children to bring it closer. So just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, and put a 2 in the chat if you're interested in doing a fertility cleanse, right? So 2 in the chat if you're interested in doing a fertility cleanse, 1 in the chat if you can hear me. All right, so again, so that's somewhat of a benefit of fertility cleanse, is that it's not a total master body cleanse. A fertility cleanse, one of the benefits is it's not going to strip your body of nutrients such as so that way you're not like getting rid of certain water soluble that's a mosquito, isn't it? Okay, certain water soluble minerals that you need, or vitamins that you need in your body, because certain things take 3 to 6 months to build up, or you want to give your body 3 to 6 months to build up. Things like folate, folic acid. I believe even choline is water soluble, which is like folate's twin or cousin. So choline is also important for fertility. They don't really talk about that, but if you hear about folic acid or folate, think about choline as well, right? Um, so you don't want to do a total our master cleanse, which is a little bit harsher and it deals with more systems in the body. The fertility cleanse, the main focus is your liver and your womb, right? And so another benefit is it helps to get rid of like excess estrogen. Okay, so if your liver is not functioning properly, liver is not able to help to get rid of the excess estrogen in your body. So estrogen in your body, it can be stored in your liver, stored in your womb, stored in wherever you have um, estrogen receptor sites, right? So certain foods also are high in estrogen. A lot of the processed foods, some of the meat where these animals have been injected with hormones, literally injected with hormones, so that we produce more faster, to be bulkier, like have more meat on them, so they can sell the animals and more money. And so if you consume this animal flesh with these hormones injected into it, then you ingest that. The hormones are, can be possibly transferred to your body and to also hit your receptor sites and trigger your body to do what? It can trigger your body to produce or like more whatever the estrogen in your body is going to produce, whether it's to help you to put on more weight, to mess with your cycle, okay, and this is one reason why women have like abnormal periods or excessive bleeding or fibroids or endometriosis and things like that, because all this estrogen is just recirculating in the body. It's not able to be processed and eliminated through the liver, and if it's not able to do that, it's just going to go floating right back around in the bloodstream. So you have like, it's not even just excess estrogen at this point, it's toxic estrogen. Okay, so that's one thing that a fertility cleanse is good for, is to help to get rid of all of this excess estrogen that is floating around in your body, that is triggering your hormone, stimulates your body to stimulates your cells to grow. And progesterone controls the growth or the rate of this growth or whatever's going on in your body. So a lot of women also have more estrogen than they have progesterone, which could be another reason why there's things like fibroids, endometriosis, and like things like that are hormone sensitive, right? So another benefit of a fertility cleanse is also going to be that it has the potential to, by helping your body to get into more of a harmonious equilibrium or homeostasis, now your body is able to regulate hormone production. So, you know, likewise. So, number one, we talked about it helps to detoxify your liver. Number two, we talked about it helps to detoxify your womb. And also, we talked about eliminating excess estrogen from your body, right? So, if you help give the liver a break, it's going to eliminate the excess estrogen, which is going to help to ensure that you don't have like overgrowth of like cells like fibroids and things like that, which is also going to in turn help to regulate your hormones. The thing about the female reproductive system, which differentiates from the men's reproductive system, is that our hormonal system is a negative feedback, right? So when you're so basically, if you have like an excess amount of hormones, it's going to trigger more things to happen, right? So when you help to eliminate some of these excess hormones, your body can regulate itself better. So by getting rid of this excess hormones, now your body can function better. Another example of that is that another example of like the negative feedback loop that we have in our hormonal is, you'll notice this in your cycle. So A lot of women ask me, or been asked before, am I still ovulating if I get my period, right? And so here's the thing: in order to ovulate, you have to get your period, and in order to get your period, you need to ovulate. So it's like a negative feedback. So the period stimulates ovulation, ovulation stimulates the period, and it goes on, until you conceive or go to menopause, right? Um, which I also have very interesting views on menopause. And again, I think it's related to toxin buildup, right? Which is why you'll see some women are able to conceive without IVF um, later in life. And a lot of times when you look at these women, they're pretty healthy. They and another thing I think is that the older some women get, when you start to see older women able to conceive, is that the older we get, we naturally sort of, I've noticed, at least in my family, start to be very picky about our food. Can't eat the things that we used to eat, can't eat a whole bunch of sugar, not into eating a bunch of, just very different foods and things like that. So we change our diet to be a little lighter. Start to maybe eat more fruit, eat less food on our plate at one sitting, right? And so what this can do is this can help to reduce the exposure that we have to toxins and certain other substances and chemicals and things like that that would be messing with our hormones, and in turn that might be helping some of these older ladies be able to have a baby, right? So uh, like I said, so that benefit that we just talked about was that your hormones can be regulated, right? So it can help to create a more homeostasis in your body. And so the other thing that this can do, this can also help to spill over into other areas of your life. So your mood might become enhanced, and your mood to me is very important to fertility, because that's part of like your emotional well-being or your mental health. And so if your mood, huh? So if you have a better mood, this can cause you to be more at peace or more at ease, i.e., have less stress, right? So, fertility cleanse can also help you to reduce stress or help you to at least manage stress better, or to deal with help your body to deal with stress as it comes, so that way it's not so overwhelming, or it's not so damaging that it starts to shut your reproductive system down. Because I don't know if you know, but one thing about our body is that the reproductive system itself is like fourth in line of like systems in our body. So um, if, if we are like in fight or flight mode, our cortisol goes up, and that can shut down our reproductive system or our hormonal system. So ease and well-being, okay, you can help to regulate your cortisol levels, possibly boost your serotonin levels, and also in as well. And some other that come from doing a fertility cleanse. So better. So when you're doing a fertility cleanse, and again focusing on the womb, focusing on your reproductive system, what can happen is, now since your liver doesn't have to work as hard, since your hormones are functioning as they should, since you have better homeostasis, and your like cortisol levels are not like down regulating your reproductive hormones, um, and your cortisol could potentially be lower, right? Because I do include things like magnesium, at least for myself, which helps to regulate your stress hormones and your stress levels, and also to increase sleep, right? And so number five, I think we're at number five, because I'm not counting. I'm just listing off as many fertility benefits as I can, um, to help you to see some of the results that you're going to have. But one of the results is going to be better sleep. And the reason why better sleep is good and beneficial, okay, why it's something that you should want to have. Of course, we all want better sleep, right? But sometimes we can't get that better sleep because our body is, still trying to process the foods, the dense foods, you know, trying to process all of the different chemicals, still trying to digest food, maybe because we're not eating the right foods at the right time, or eating too close to bed, or again, certain foods just don't go well with our body, and we don't know until we eliminate it. And then after you eliminate the foods and do a cleanse, you're like, oh, that's what's been causing the problem so long. Now I have, better XYZ. I can sleep better, better skin, better fertility, better periods, and so forth, right? Um, and I guess I'll actually tell you maybe a little bit about my story towards the end, which is how to find out about fertility cleanses, because I also used to struggle with, hey, what is a fertility cleanse? How do you do one? This fan is like blowing in my mouth. It's like drying my whole. It's not, but I got that fan here. All right, so I'll probably talk about that as well. I just want to finish off with at least this benefit, which again is better sleep. So the reason why you want better sleep is because when you go to sleep, your body starts healing, right? So if you do have um, things like low egg quality, fibroids, endometriosis, one of the things that these have in common is that they stem or they start from a damaged cell. Okay, so not sure if you know, but things like, again, fibroid, endometriosis, they they stem from cells, right? So a damaged cell. The egg is a cell. Fibroid is made up of like a mass of cells that are overgrown. Endometriosis, the same thing. And what happens is somewhere in your womb or in your body, as you've had damaged cells, the programming becomes disruptive, and your body's like trying to protect you, and it does all of these weird things, whether it is trying to cover, you know, a mass cell, and then it starts still continuing to expand, um, or the cells start growing in places they're not supposed to, like endometrial lining start growing outside of the womb. All of this stems from damaged cells, right? And so when you're sleeping, one thing that your body can do is help to restore womb health, or to help to eliminate excessive tissue growth, or tissue growth, that's cell growth that's not growing where it's supposed to. It can start to even do things like shrink the fibroids and things like that. And because, you know, beneficial poor sleep or not enough sleep, right? And so you really want to aim for about 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I don't clearly like 6 hours of sleep. I think something more like 8. They do say if you get anything disrupted. All right. What feels good to you? You wanna feel well rested, and that's about 6 hours of sleep. So I had someone ask me, she's a dentist. She wanted to know if she could, or ship worker or whatever. She wanted to know if she could get this type of sleep, get this sleep in the daytime. No, because you need your body to align with the circadian rhythm of the planet. We have serotonin and melatonin, and these are triggered by sun and things. So it's really ideal that you get your night. So another thing I want to say, for those of you on Instagram, make sure to come over to YouTube, because my phone is gonna die. It's at like 5%. So if you want to continue watching this video to get these benefits and hear my story, make sure to come over to YouTube, right? Not sure why I'm saying my stuff's restarted, but hey, I came across fertility cleanses and like why it works, and possibly how it even works for my clients, a woman who I've spoken to and worked with over time. So I've shared this story on my channel before somewhere, but to sum it up, I haven't spoken about it in a long time. But to sum it up, I went to LA. So basically I went on a road trip. It was like a 6-month road trip. Okay, and so on this road trip, primarily the stuff that I was eating when I was at home and cooking, I wasn't eating that. I was eating like a very lighter diet, a very more simple foods. I really drink anyways mainly, but definitely just water and like green tea. Um, So it was a very closely, like, they would say Mediterranean type diet, but I don't eat fish, so you can cut the fish out. So it was a lot of like salads, or kale salads, some salad. It wasn't a whole lot, but like avocados, tomatoes, onions, things like that. Salads, and trying to remember. I did eat oatmeal, and but yeah, like very little junk food, very little processed vegan um, food. So like um, I I think we only ate like what do you call it, the vegan hot dogs like one time, and all of that. So anyways, what happened was, oh yeah, and I was also, okay, so this, when I got back, when I got back, I was also starting to do drinks. I was starting to do shots, so ACV shots, and I made like a herbal blend, and I would pour in my ACV, and I would make like a batch of it, and I would let it sit, and then I would drink this every day. So I would drink a whole bottle. So I would have like 7 bottles that I poured my herbal blend in. And the reason I did that is like somehow I figured that the apple cider vinegar would extract the benefits out of these herbs. So for example, I had turmeric in there, and turmeric, they say, oh, you can't get the benefits out of turmeric unless you have it with black pepper. um I don't consume black pepper. I've cut black pepper out of my diet for the most part. But I just intuitively just was like, this apple cider vinegar will do it. And now I have been hearing that you could also use coconut oil. But I put like four. It was like 4 herbs. I put in my apple cider. I drink every day for like 2 months. Another thing I did again, definitely was starting to make salads a day. I was cut out a lot of junk food, and so it was like the 6 month trip plus the 2 months when I got back. So like over like what happened is, after I got back from the 6 month trip and I did um cleanse, what I noticed is that the fibroid I had in my left breast, gone, gone. And I've had that fibroid since I was 15 years old. Okay. Not only that, while I was on, I believe while I was on the trip, my periods definitely, they lightened, and they have been lightening ever since I became vegetarian. Okay, which was like probably like 15 years ago. I became vegetarian, then I became vegan about 10 years ago. Oh my god. Became vegan like 10 years ago, and my period pain um minimized. But when I got back from the trip and I did the 2 month cleanse, I'll call that the cleanse, because the even though I was on the trip, I really feel like it's that combined, because I was doing yoga on the beach, I was doing belly dancing, so I guess it's all of it combined. But I didn't notice my breast fibroid had shrunk until the 2 months after I got back. So, but not only that, is that my fibroid pain completely eliminated. So I still have not had period pain to this day. Okay, I will say, if I do start consuming things like bread, hi sweetie, you know, like bread and say hi, mama. All right, mommy don't want you in the camera. Like, all right, so if I do start consuming things like bread and like a lot of like rice, white rice, I would notice that my damn, this thing's like blowing right in my nostrils. That's not. I would notice that my period pain will start to, not my period pain, like I would notice tinge. I don't even know what to call it. My pain, and I can't even really call it tinges. It would just be like I could feel something. I could, but the PMS, or the pain that I would have before I would get my period, that would let me know that my period is coming, that's been gone. I ain't seen that in like I said, over 10 years. So I don't know, if I'm not tracking my period, I don't even know I'm gonna get my period until it done came. I have to go to the bathroom to find out, because I don't feel any of that stuff, except for like maybe I'll like cheat, I guess we'll call it cheating, like have rice and bread and things like that, which I've been cutting out of my diet and out of my life since I was younger. But my children, they grown and they're trying to experience all this stuff now, so it's like there's more of that in my house, a little bit more. So you can see the need for a cleanse even more, because It's a little bit harder when you do have other people in your house that are eating foods that you're not used to. But for the most part, I got it under control. Your sis is, holding back and just pushing back, and like just I will consume things lightly. But when I'm doing a cleanse, like I was just doing a fruit fast the other day. I think I did like 3 days. I didn't mess with none of that. It is a challenge sometimes to turn away, but you do have to like let your family members know, hey, I'm doing a cleanse, or I'm doing, you know, I'm doing this challenge in order to improve my fertility. Could you please not offer me any, or just like, not just have it out in regular places where it looks tempting and things like that, right? But you do have to have some restraint, and I think it's way better, way easier to do a cleanse when you have a group that you're doing it with. So you kind of create another circle, like another, YouTube page. So if you're on Instagram, head over to my YouTube, because my phone might be going out on Instagram. So come to YouTube. This is also where you're more likely to be able to see the other videos I have as well in this series. So again, if you have any questions about a fertility cleanse, or the benefits of a fertility cleanse, or anything else that affecting your fertility, to DM me on Instagram. So if you have any questions, I definitely Instagram rather than any other social media, because I'm more active on Instagram. As you can see, I'm not trying to come back to YouTube where I started, come back to my roots, right? Um, so yeah, fertility, that's what it did for me. That's one of the things it did for me. And I also feel like by doing a fertility cleanse, not I feel like, another thing, the third thing I noticed with doing a fertility cleanse is that I was able to feel when I ovulated. So while I was no longer able to, or no longer having period pains, what I did notice is that I was able to feel when I ovulate. So that's called Mittelscheimer's or something like that. They gave it like, I think it's like a German name, but anyways, I probably butchered that, because I haven't even talked about this stuff for like months. But I started to feel when I was ovulating, and let me tell you, the things. Yeah, so I think that's how I conceived my son in one cycle. Okay, in one cycle, because my body was like, you ovulating, you need to get some, go get some. I went and got some. Anyways, because during the whole trip I wasn't doing nothing. But after I did all that cleansing and all that stuff, and started to feel when my body was ovulating, it was like I think the awareness that I am fertile right now was very intense. And so I acted on that, girl, and my son is here. But and so I will say, if you're not able to tell when you ovulate, there are different ways to tell when you ovulate. I have some of those on my YouTube channel, how to feel or how to tell when you're ovulate. There's at least 3 ways to tell besides just feeling it. You can physically manual, and that's TMI for some of you. But again, I do have videos that goes a little bit deeper into that. I think it's called like 3 signs you're ovulating, or how to tell you're ovulating. It's on my channel on YouTube at BlackFertility. For those of you on Instagram, remember, come over to my YouTube at BlackFertility, and you will be able to see those videos and continue to watch this one, right? So that's one of my stories. So as far as clients, one of my very first client, I guided her on how to pretty much I gave her like a routine. I gave her a routine, and in that routine I included, increasing or improving your nutrition and your diet, and like eliminating certain things. And I gave like a protocol, so it wasn't like an immediate, oh look, just drop everything and it. But ideally, unless you're really in an emergency type of rush, maybe you have cancer, sorry, not cancer, maybe you have cancer, and you need to do, I don't think you conceive in that. Like, you need to conceive and have your baby within the next year before you do that type of thing, or your whole up some type of surgery, or your whole up some type of, procedure. So if you're like in an emergency, yeah, you might want to drop all of the unhealthy foods and day one just start doing everything healthy. But I think the best way to do a cleanse really is to like a window where you start to eliminate the things from your diet, from your house, which is one of the easiest ways to get the stuff out of your house in the first place. All the unhealthy foods, snacks, processed foods, meats, and like that, that's not conducive to you doing cleanse, which is why I'm bored with you. Um, and sometimes that could take a lot of time even to get people on board, because at first they'll be like, oh no, 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 but about, depending on how much time you got, after a while you start to influence people, or you're likely to start to influence people in a healthy, positive way. So don't be too upset, or um, you know too down if you're trying to do a cleanse or wanting to start to improve your fertility, and maybe family or friends around you, roommates, whatever the case may be, are not in support, or they're doing things that sort of challenge your goals, right? Give them time, give yourself time, isolate yourself slightly if you need to, but anyways, ideally you want to have like a window of like maybe 7 to 14 days where you start to daily start to eliminate these things. So with my first client, I had her do that. I had her, I gave her what I call like a ramp up strategy. And so in that strategy, like, whether it was like month one or week one, she reduced 25% of the bad stuff, included 25% of the good stuff. Week two or month two, she reduced another 25%. So by now she's at 50%, eliminating the bad stuff, incorporating the healthy good stuff. Week three or month three, and the reason why I say week three, month three is because I have, but it really depends on your pace. So this can be like self-paced, right? So week three or phase three, we'll just call it phase three. You eliminate. Now you're at 75% that you have eliminated all of the things that you don't need in your routine or your diet. You've eliminated it, and you started to incorporate now 75% more healthy stuff. And then so by phase four, month four, week four, whatever you want to call it, you are at 100%. You've gotten rid of all the bad stuff, and you incorporating all the beneficial stuff for fertility. And this is not just for a cleanse. This also can apply for things like increasing like your fitness level. Also include things like mindset. Maybe you need to improve your mindset or work on your mindset, because maybe you have a very not beneficial mindset when it comes to fertility. Like, I talked about that in my very last video, or in my womb trauma video. So if you want to hear more about the mindset part, go watch my healing womb trauma video. It's like the third video before this one. And so she called me back 2 months later and told me that the cyst on her ovary was completely gone. It had shrunk. My second client, she also was doing a cleanse. She was doing more like smoothies and things like that. And so she also got pregnant after being infertile for I think 10 years, plus having a fibroid. It was like, first it was like an 11 centimeter fibroid or 12 centimeter fibroid. I think it was like 10 or 11 centimeter fibroid. And in order to conceive, you got to get it down to 6 centimeters. Ideally, she got hers down to 7 centimeters, was able to conceive. Another client that I had, let me try to see. Okay, so I had another lady take one of my fertility smoothie challenges, and she was able to increase her AMH levels, and also her FSH and LH also became more in the area that is beneficial for fertility. So these things work, the fertility cleanses, and of course a fertility smoothie can like be fit into the cleanse, or again, just depending on what you want to do with your diet. So you can really tweak the cleanse to your liking. You can do a juice cleanse, you can do a smoothie cleanse. It can be, eating more greens, more salads. It could just be eliminating dairy, milk, alcohol, drugs, and things like that from your body. And your body will start the cleansing process, starting to remove the carbs and things like that. And your body starts the cleansing process on your own. How far you want to go with the cleanse really depends on what you can tolerate, what you're committed to doing, the results you're trying to get, how long you're trying do this cleanse. But the longer you do this cleanse, basically the more benefits you get, or the longer you're able to sustain these benefits. Oh, and I think I need to just end this here, so give me a second. You'll see this on Instagram. If y'all can, make sure to come over to Black Fertility on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that way you can get the notifications when I go live. Okay, so that is going to be on YouTube, alright? So again, if you ever like aren't able to catch the full video on my Instagram, come over to YouTube so that way you can see the rest of it. And so I was getting into talking about the and also detoxify the liver. But when I'm talking about a womb cleanse, I'm not talking about just consuming food or eliminating the food. It's not all just nutrition. For me, a womb cleanse, it really goes deeper than that. It includes your mindset. It includes your emotional well-being, your emotional state. It's also an energetic frequency, an energetic connection that you share with, which I feel is very important, or to me it's very important, very essential. And it could be one reason why you're having fertility issues. There could be blockages energetically between, you know, between your womb and what it is that you want, you know. So there could be like a disconnect between what it is that you want and your connection to like how you feel about your womb, or the stories that you have about your womb, or about fertility, or about you getting what it is that you desire, right? So there's an emotional sort of energetic frequency aspect that is very at the core of, you know, my fertility cleanses. And one of the reasons why I'm expanding my fertility cleanse, not only can you get better results and longer lasting, more sustainable results to help you to conceive or improve your fertility issues, but that way we can also start to address some of these energetic blockages that could be present, right? So the other thing when it comes to a fertility womb cleanse is that, again, we are also doing things that direct womb health or womb care. So things like womb healing, which can include yoni steaming, womb massage, castor oil packs, anything that helps to break up blockages, that helps us to create a deeper connection with the womb, that helps to nurture your body, nurture your womb, helps to raise the chi in your womb, tone your womb, revitalize it, restore fertility. You know, we are doing that in the fertility womb cleanse, right? So these are also some of the important benefits of a fertility womb cleanse. You know, you can start to build that connection that maybe was lost somewhere between childhood, teenage years, or adolescence, or in adult life. Because it's said that for women, we tend to just have like a consciousness level, not in a negative way, but we can shut down our body from like from the waist down. We can shut down our connection, right? So, you know, our legs are just there walking, but like we're not really always feeling, okay, our womb, or having the awareness of the state of our womb health, which is why things like fibroids, endometriosis, and period problems can persist and prolong for so long, is because we've already shut down, because maybe we've had womb trauma, maybe we've had a terrible accident that affected our pelvic area, maybe, you know, there's been other abuse or something like that, or maybe there's been just, again, stories that we've heard and we've taken on. Or if you watched my womb healing video, maybe it's generational. Okay, maybe it's generational womb trauma that you inherited from your mother or your grandmother, okay, and so on. So these are some of the benefits of a fertility womb cleanse. I really hope that these help to address maybe some of your questions as to like what is a fertility womb cleanse, why should you do a fertility womb cleanse. If you missed this video, like let's say you tuned in late, if you're just tuning in now because I see we still have someone coming in, make sure to go back and watch the beginning of the video. Not only that, check out the whole series. This is like video number 3 in the series, plus I did the womb healing video, so that's also you know, connected to this and can help to shed some light on how to do a fertility cleanse, what a fertility cleanse is, and the benefits of a fertility cleanse, and why you should do one, right? I really encourage you to do a fertility cleanse, even if it's not with me, just to do one, because I feel like a fertility, we're calling it a fertility cleanse. This stuff has a name now, but I do feel like when we were, you know, in more in a community, right? But when we were more a unit, community-wise, whether you want to call it tribal, whatever the case may be, cultural, that we did things like this more regularly, and it was just a thing. It might not even had a name because it was just so normal and natural and part of how women took care of their bodies and their reproductive systems. Because even um, even before we had harmful foods and products on our shelves and were exposed to very dangerous pollutants and chemicals in the air, the water, the food, the products that we use, especially for Black women, since a lot of us have been exposed to products in our hair care, you know, the perms and the weave glues, and now we have the lashes, now we have the nail glue, the UV thing you put in your little hands in. Some people are doing it on their eyeballs now. So look, this stuff is damaging cells, it is damaging wombs, it's getting there. Because we're not even going to talk about what they're doing on the womb. They're probably using UV to, like, I don't even want to imagine, but I've seen people doing some really weird stuff. If they will risk their eyesight, they will do that too. They will do certain things to their womb. Maybe they're using UV to put on gems and jewelry on their vajay. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that scrolling on TikTok. Hey, this is what people are doing. They're bedazzling their, you know, their yoni. Don't do it with no UV lights and all of that stuff. And so we've been exposed, not just Black women, but, you know, Black women obviously, when it comes to the perms that we were using regularly and stuff like that. And there's still, a lot of us are still exposed to these chemicals. We are, you know, some of us trying to uphold a certain beauty standard or achieve a certain beauty standard. And I'm not saying it's the white supremacy or white woman beauty standard, but even for ourselves, we have in order to do that. It requires to use very toxic chemicals. No, you're not going to risk all that for Apple. So be mindful of the stuff you are doing, even in your beauty and your skincare routine, right? So I know Black women, another thing we like to do is we like to uphold ourselves as being smelling clean and fresh in like really all these 50 different types of ways. You know, you lather first, you soap up with the soap, with the rag, then you lather with the gel, with the sponge or the glove, and then after that you oil up yourself with the lotion in the shower while you're still wet, and then after you come out the shower you use the perfume that smells like the soap and the lather and the oil, so that way you're exuding 50 different scents of rose. Meanwhile, none of it is actually mixed with each other. They produce other harmful chemicals, right? So the perms are not just the negative things or the bad things. The cankalon here is not just a bad thing. It could also be how we are putting on different layers of scents and perfumes, or even our soap. So I really encourage you, you know, when you're doing a fertility womb cleanse, you want to take all of this into consideration. You want to start to minimize your exposure to some of the beauty and the skincare products that are harmful, because a lot of that stuff, it comes in and then it takes seat in our womb, it stores in our womb. A lot of it is estrogen based. Like when you think about the nails, all I see is plastic and estrogen. All I see when I see those nails is a ton of estrogen. And that's not to say I would never do nails. I mean, I haven't done my nails since I was probably like 14, which that was young, right? But now they're doing different types of stuff, and even to take the nail off, you need another chemical, and it's a lot, right? So if we're putting our body through all of this to the point where now women are getting cancer from using the UV lights, but that's not good enough. They're doing it in their eyes. Like I said, I could only imagine. So I really want to encourage you to start to be mindful, research some of the stuff that you are putting your bodies through, and just know that you're beautiful either with or without that stuff, and that, you know, if you are doing that stuff, it's even more important why you want to do a cleanse, especially if you're trying to conceive. You know, it's one thing if you're just trying to shrink a fibroid or get rid of period problems, but if you're trying to conceive and all of these things are potentially holding back your conception, at some point you do have to make a call and decide what's more important to you. You know, having a baby and being able to continue to have the babies that you want to have, or, you know, to have a certain look that is not it's not conducive to your fertility, your hormones, and other things in life. You know, so these are just some other things that can affect fertility, and the benefits of a fertility cleanse is that if you are doing those things, I'm not coming down on you to say stop it or don't do it, but I'm saying a fertility cleanse can definitely help you to even get rid of some of those toxins out of your body where you otherwise wouldn't know. Because nobody's telling anybody, hey, if you're doing to do a cleanse or to, you know, consume certain supplements to get rid of this stuff out of your body, because it does leach into your body. Like even basic nail polish can have a negative effect. There's I can't remember the name because the name is like 12 letters long and it's not my name. My name's like 9 letters. But anyways, so some of these things very, very toxic. But again, if you have any questions about like anything that you're specifically using, or if you have any questions about a fertility cleanse, remember to message me, DM me on Instagram. My name there, my name, you know, everywhere. My name is Natasha Winter, but I do have multiple Instagrams. But DM me on my Natasha Winter profile if you want to ask me any questions. The link for my Instagram is in the here. So I have a free gift for you there if you want to how to improve fertility naturally. Beyond just a fertility cleanse, I have a free gift to improve your egg quality naturally for women over 35. So if you check the description, you'll find that out. And I also have training, a free training in the description right now that you can register to watch, and it's my woman activation masterclass. So if you want to learn more about why I talk so much about like feminine fertility and femininity and fertility, and I was doing this before, I was already on this before femininity, the word femininity became such a buzzword or hype word, which is why I even call my program it, and why you don't see me part of, you know, trying to do certain things. So I'm not just doing it for show. It's not just called that for show. I've been really incorporating more feminine aspects, and the reason I'll just say that now is because women, and even just like women, you know, when it comes to working, women, like I have cousins that have lost babies, or I lost a baby because she was doing things I don't think a woman should have been doing on her job, right? And this stuff fell on her, and we was both pregnant at the same time, and she wasn't, you know, she lost the baby. So it's certain jobs we're taking on, you know, that are very stressful and are not and that they affect our reproductive system, like, you know, certain shift work and things like that. But anyways, I really encourage you to take on more of a feminine sort of work, you know, I don't want to say low, just like experience. You know, if you want to work, make sure it's something that is more feminine in nature, without it being catty and all of that, because that could lead to some more stress. But not to ramble on anymore because I feel like I'm starting to do that. But make sure to check that out right there. Turn your, no, the cabbage. That's cabbage. You say kale like cabbage.
Do you have any green cabbage?
That's cabbage. See that ball right there? Nope. See that green thing right there? Nope. Down, down. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, make sure to check my. Not right now. Not right now. Take it with you. Take it with you. Make sure to check out my training to learn more about the femininity aspect. I believe I also talk a little bit about there about my rampant strategy, like how you can improve your fertility overall. This video again is about fertility, womb cleanse benefits or fertility benefits of a. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, and so that way you can catch the other videos in this series. If you want to ask me any questions, DM me on natashawinsper.com. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.